who led the Justice Department's investigation of the January 6th Capitol riot, now saying the evidence supports charges of sedition. In a 60 Minutes interview that aired last night, Michael Sherwin, the interim U.S. attorney who stepped down from the investigation on Friday, was asked why more people weren't being charged with sedition and whether prosecutors are looking into former President Trump's role in the riot. Take a look.
Seems like a very low bar, and I wonder why you're not charging that now.
Okay, so I don't think it's a low bar, Scott, but I will tell you this. I personally believe the evidence is trending towards that and probably meets those elements.
Do you anticipate sedition charges against some of these suspects?
I believe the facts do support those charges, and I think that as we go forward, more facts will support that, Scott.
Has the role of former President Trump been part of your investigation?
Well, we have soccer moms from Ohio that were arrested saying, well, I did this because my president said I had to take back our house. That moves the needle towards that direction. Maybe the president is culpable for those actions, but also you see in the public record too, militia members saying, you know what, we did this because Trump just talks a big game. He's just all talk. We did what he wouldn't do.
In short, you have investigators looking into the president's role.
We have people looking at everything.
Sherwin has resumed his position as federal prosecutor in Miami. Meanwhile, the New York Times yesterday released a report using D.C. police radio communications synchronized with footage at the scene showing the real-time struggle of officers trying to protect the Capitol on January 6th.
We're not here for you. We're here for America.
The Capitol Police Force requests backup.
These
These internal radio communications are from the reinforcements, officers from D.C.'s Municipal Police Force, or MPD, who are called in to help the Capitol Police.
Cruiser 50, 64, 54, mount up.
Cruiser 50 is the call sign for the leader of the MPD response, Inspector Robert Glover, a high-ranking MPD veteran who specializes in crowd control and high-stakes confrontations. Over the next 76 minutes, the MPD radio communications, synchronized with footage from the scene analyzed by the New York Times, reveal the gauntlet Glover and his team face, trying to hold the line at the Capitol.
Multiple capital injuries! Multiple capital injuries!
It's been 5 minutes since Glover's team arrived, and already he's calling in officer injuries. He hears from other police on the radio who warn that the situation is about to get even worse.
Be advised the speed ended.
Now that President Trump has left the stage at the other end of the National Mall, crowds of people are streaming toward the Capitol.
Intel will be advised you got a group of about 50 charging up the hill on the left front.
Glover is still asking for the munitions unit.
Cruiser 50, give me DSO up here now! DSO!
Injuries are mounting.
Multiple law enforcement injuries! DSO, get up there!
Police escalate their response and start using more crowd control weapons.
They're shooting into their own people. We represent blue lives, and this is what they do to us.
Multiple deployments from the Capitol MPD! One state board deployment authorized to hold the line.
Let's bring in New York Times reporter and MSNBC national security analyst Michael Schmidt, who contributed to this real-time look at what officers were going through that day trying to protect the Capitol on January the 6th. Mike, as you pieced all this together, what did you learn?
I think the most important thing about Hold the Line, about what it was like to be on the front lines of this fight, is the sustained nature of this. Most interactions, most violent interactions that officers have happen pretty quickly. They happen over a matter of seconds. Sometimes they happen over a matter of minutes. Sometimes there's an extended version of that. But officers rarely confront hand-to-hand combat like soldiers over hours and hours. And the fact that these officers were thrust into this situation is just such an unusual challenge to them. It's just so different than anything they have had to experience before. And in that trauma, the fact that it went on so long is one of the reasons that you've had so many injuries, why you had so many severe injuries, things that we usually do not see officers having to experience in normal day-to-day American policing. And to be able to see through the eyes of these officers that were there trying to hold the line, and what happens when the line is breached and they eventually have to retreat. And certainly, obviously, this knocks out any of these conspiratorial notions that have been pushed about the fact that these Trump supporters were not violent and such. I mean, these ridiculous claims. But unfortunately, we live in this society where showing this video is just so important to the bare bone facts of what went on.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.